Hey there. So this is just the next video in the series, focusing on the exploded axo. By now, you should have at least all three of your iteration drawings. One is your first original model, then two following iterations. You should also have your unfolded cube drawing done. That was the previous video, or actually, it was an earlier video, and then we had the unrolled laser cut tutorial that I just recently posted. And yeah, so up to the exploded axo. Again, there's no further design changes at this point. It is simply just taking our model and documenting it. All right, so I'm going to open the new tutorial, I'm sorry, the new template. All right, let me see, is this the right one? No, this is the old one. Okay. So you'll be able to download this template from the templates folder in Dropbox or OneDrive. I'll put it in both locations. And basically you see we have all the lines already crafted. Your job is just going to document your drawing in both line drawing and the Arctic view like we did for the unfolded cube. So Arctic, so you're going to combine this and this in InDesign, which also has a new template available. Let me hide my drawing. All right, so this is your template. When you download it, it's going to look like this. While we're here, just be sure to update your template page. So student name, please add your name. And just zoom in so that I could see the text that I'm writing. Okay. Please put your first and last name. Everything else is accounted for. And then just switch back to your first page, and here's where you're gonna import your line drawing and your Arctic view. Okay, so let me just lock that layer for right now. Okay, so where we last left off, you produced a drawing based on your actual model. We're gonna keep it with this 5x5 for this assignment. So you can either take it from your very, very large folder, from your large file, I mean, or you can just copy your shapes from here. That's what I'm going to do. Zoom selected, make sure I have everything selected. I'm then going to just give it a little check. Make sure everything is here. Yep. All right, you don't need to, you know, just make sure everything is straight. So now I'm just going to do a copy, Control C, or you can do an edit copy command. I'm just copying it over into that new template. All right, so came right up here. So when I shift to my perspective view, I see my model. That's great. So I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to do a Boolean union. All right, this is just so that I can clean up all my lines and everything is just one solid object. All right. Now, if this does not, if you still have line drawings shown or line edges shown, it's possible that your sections aren't fully pieced together. So, quickest way to do that is to piece them together once more, but make sure that your O-snaps are on. Make sure you look at your little intersection points. All right, so now I'm going to take this, and the way that the drawing is, we're basically carving a quarter of this cube out. So if I had a box that was 5 by 5 by 5, and I had another box that was 2.5, 2.5 by 2.5, and I will just change this layer. I am essentially, let me just duplicate that. I am basically cutting this cube out of that box. Okay, and so that's what we're going to do in section. But as you can see, we still have these little 2.5-inch models. So let me just scale that up really quickly. Just typing in the simple scale, and then I know it's 2 times, 2.5. All right, and then just for clarity, I will bring the bottom of this cube up to the grid. And now it's clean. Please do that step before anything. Make sure that you're working on the grid and make sure that you're working the right scale. All right, so I'm just gonna copy this box that I just made. If you didn't see that, I typed in box, BOX, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, and then I'm just gonna change the object layer so that it's cleaner to see. All right, now I'm gonna move it. You see my O snaps showing up, meaning that my O snaps are on. And what I'm seeing here is exactly what's going to be cut from my model with this 2.5-inch section. Now, if this is not your most interesting corner and you want to rotate it, you are more than welcome to rotate your cube. So if you wanted to rotate it at 90 degrees because this was more interesting, then that's fine. But if it is not a more interesting view and you're just, trying to limit the amount of work you have, that's not the goal. All right, because we want to learn and, have the best design we could possibly have. Okay, so once I have this copied, I'm just going to make another duplicate and I'm going to split my Boolean union. So I'm going to type in split and I'm going to select my objects to split, select my cutting objects, which is the red cube. And now you'll see that I have separate surfaces. Okay, so now I'm going to only select these objects and I'm going to move it aside. I'll just move it 5 inches. All right, so here we see everything that was cut. All right, we're now looking through our object, and that's what I meant by the negative spaces that we created, outside of the positive spaces that we were working in class. All right, so here you can say, oh, a human definitely can't fit through there comfortably, or, oh, that's more than enough space for my person. All right, and again, I have little scale figures here. If you wanted to check it on that Axo model, all you need to do is take them here and rotate 3D. This is not essential. You do not need to do this. This is only if you wanted to do that. And I'm going to take this little person and I'm just going to stand her up right over here. And maybe over here. All right, so now I see how she can fit in the space. What's too small, what's too big, and so on. All right, now that I checked that, I'm just going to delete her and continue on my way. All right, so now that we have our boundaries, what I want us to do is make another duplicate and then rotate 45 degrees. Oh, negative 45, sorry. Rotate negative 45 degrees. All right, it could be that this piece is a little too close, but let's give it a try. Let's do a bounding box. And now I'm going to write shear. Make sure that you're in a good view for the shear. For me, it's the right view. All right, and now I see that my sheared object is a little close to my main building. So it won't, this corner here is going to overlap the building, and that's not what we want. So what I'm going to do is just do this again, but this time I'm going to give a little bit more space. So I'll just move this another 5 inches. All right, I will rotate negative 45 degrees, bounding box just to know where my corners on are share. All right. Okay, and now we see perfectly separated areas. All right, all right. Now, if I wanted to be safe, I should have done that with bounding box. So, nothing like doing it a 4th time. I type in bounding box and bounding box. Now I'm going to rotate it, negative 45, give myself another bounding box, select all objects, share, change my viewport to right. All right. And now I'm pretty comfortable with this. I can get rid of my bounding box for both objects, or I can leave them. But at this point, you should be able to be comfortable. What I should have done was add a little guide, so let me just do that now. This is just so that I can place the object on the template. So I'm just drawing a little guideline. I will delete it later. Please give yourself a guideline. All right, so now I'm comfortable enough to delete the bounding box because I know where my corner is. And I am going to duplicate this again. All right, I can actually move this point here from the edge there to where I'm not overlapping only because when I make 2D, I don't want the primary line to disappear. So let me just make that little shift. Okay. And I'm going to make 2D. All right, my make 2D settings. I do not want hidden lines for this. I just want to focus on the exterior lines and the cut lines. I think that the hidden lines might be a little distracting, based on, the few attempts I did before this. So let's see, by output layers, group output, that should be fine. Let's take a look. And my layer is curves. Yep. Yep, that should be good to go. Okay. All right, so now I have my line drawings and I have my template here. So what I want you to do is duplicate this a couple of times. And then I want you to type lock. All right, this way, those objects do not get caught in your drawing or your model. All right, I need you to select your shared object, copy, pick one corner, either the top corner or the bottom corner, your choice. I'm picking the top corner right now because I have it available in my model, and I'm going to paste it right there. Okay, and now I'm going to select this object and do the same thing, except I don't have a top corner. So I'm picking this bottom guide corner that I created. All right, so that's one good thing about having a guideline. Now that they're in place, I can delete them. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I ultimately don't need the guideline because I know where it's going. And I know that I have a strong corner. So pick one corner and place it there. And for this object, again, I know that I don't have a strong corner, so I'm just going to deselect it. When I copy it, I'm going to copy it from that guide corner, and I'm going to paste the guide corner right there. All right, so you see it fits perfectly within the boundary. Now I'm going to draw a rectangle just to outline this template. And I am going to do one more. And this time I'm going to turn off the layers that I don't want to see, which are the exploded axo lines and the dim lines. I don't want it to show up in my export. And then I need to change the color print of this layer 1, which I used as a boundary. If you want, you can rename this as boundary or guide. Rename guide. And now that's going to print as black. All right, so select objects, file, export selected, and just name it something good. Project 02, exploded, AXO, CM tutorial. All right, and make sure that it is a PDF. So scroll on down, PDF, perfect. And my settings, I need it to be a tabloid. It's 8.5 by, I'm sorry, it's 11 by 17. It's going to be portrait, vector based. It's print color, good. Changing the view to extends. All right, my scale is 1:1 because I know that I'm working in an 1/8 inch scale because this is going to be a true 5 inches in reality. And scale it down and press print. All right, for this left drawing, I'm going to change my viewport to Arctic. Select this object. And I'm actually going to change my guide to black for this. Select the object, view selected, deselect, or press escape or click away from the drawing, and then type view capture to file. All right, for this I'm going to do a transparent background. And my viewport, that's fine, but I need a much better resolution. So dots per inch, I'm going to do at least 150 dots per inch. And that's just so that it's a higher quality photo. Press OK. And just gonna call it Project 1 Exploded Axle. Okay. So now that I have those two things saved, what I'm gonna do is make sure that I am back in my paper space. This is where the template is. I want to go make sure that the 1 is double clicked and highlighted. And then for layer, make sure that you're on the Arctic screenshot first. Make sure this is unlocked. You won't see my objects there. All right, so make sure this is unlocked, views on, Control D for place, or you can do file place. And I'm looking specifically for project 2, Arctic. All right, and then I just place it. It's actually a bit small, so I am a little tempted to export it as a higher dots per inch, but let's see how bad the quality is. All right, and because I'm including these guides for you, all you need to do is scale your object up to the back line and just make sure that it fits within those dots. All right, if it's too blurry, what you can do is go to Apparent, click on this locked layer, right click, Display Performance, High Quality Display. So now it looks like much cleaner lines. Lock that layer again, go back to page 1, go to your Arctic layer, and just start editing. All right, so if this image is really blurry, you can also do that here, just to try and keep it as clean and aligned as possible. Right, and if it's just too much to manage, you can just change your viewport here. And you see I'm sticking out a little bit, so I'm just going to hold down Shift and Control and try and scale it back. All right, and that's pretty close. So I'm comfortable with that. That's good. And now I'm just going to bring in these boundary lines so I don't see any of the extra lines that don't belong here. So I'm just allowing it to snap to the actual white artboard or a page. And I'm going to lock that layer. I'm no longer using it. Now moving into the line drawing layer. So Control D. And here I again Expldoed project 2. XO. All right, and I know that it's roughly around this middle area. This too, I can change my display performance to high quality. Just know that when we work in high quality display performance, things do get a little intense for our computers. So just try your best. All right, so that snapped over the dash line pretty nicely. So I know that this drawing is good to go. Again, just make sure that your name is changed, your viewports are locked in. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If you want to add scale figures, you can either do that in the 2D line drawing before you go, or you can just import them like any other image. If I just went to Google and I typed in scale figure uh, drawing, because there's little action figures. And I can take anything here. We could do all black. And so these people are fine. I just need to use my little snipping tool. And I can pick a person and copy it, paste it, and yep, that's fine too. I just really need to edit it in Photoshop. So let me see, where is edit? I can't seem to edit him right now. So yeah, that's fine. Uh, we'll be working in Photoshop later on this week, so just make sure that you have it downloaded, and then we'll talk about how to clean up those little scaled imports. Okay. But for now, please just submit this file. And do not forget to check out the Miro board, drop in your progress, and note that I have some polls on here. All right. So I want you, this is a check-in to see how everyone's doing, how much everyone's moving through. Uh, quick questions. I just need a yes or no answer. Um, because our digital review is next Tuesday and our final pinup is next Wednesday. All right, we're starting the final project that Friday, November 1st. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions. Please send an email. Otherwise, thanks very much.